Hi, and welcome to a new episode of The Catalyst, the disappointment cycle through the 9 human design centers. Let's start. We all tend to perceive our reality through our natural senses. What happens next? In human design, we refer to 9 energy centers in the body, which can be compared to chakras. All of these 9 centers play an essential role in how we evaluate experiences and observations from our environment, and subsequently we run them through our 9 centers, and they eventually lead again to our response, actions, or inactions directed to the outside world. The same goes when we are constantly confronted with expectations that we believe the outside world has of us, and our attempts to avoid being a disappointment or experiencing disappointment by actions or inactions coming from others. Let's have a look and name the invisible operating system under abandonment, rejection, narcissism, and empath loops, and even collective power games. Let's walk it step by step from head center to root center, tracing how the subjective belief "I am a disappointment" would ripple through the 9 centers. So let's start with the disappointment cycle through the 9 centers as defined in a human design. The first center, head, which stands for inspiration and the pressure to think. What is the trigger as a consequence of observations and experiences? The trigger is, why am I such a disappointment? And the head spins with doubt, comparison, and pressure to find a meaning. Disappointment becomes the seed thought that sets the cycle in motion. The second center, the ajna, which is about concepts and beliefs. The belief that is formed, I must perform, fix, or prove to avoid disappointing. It creates rigid mental stories about being not enough or always letting people down. It locks disappointment into a fixed narrative, which is the conditional love template. Center number 3, the throat, which is about expression and manifestation. Communication bends around the wound of over-explaining, over-justifying. The pleasing language is, I just want to make you happy. But niceness becomes a performance, and speech becomes a survival contract. The fourth center, the G. The G center is about identity, love, and direction. Identity collapses into, I am a disappointment. Love feels conditional. If you choose me, I matter. The direction warps. Life choices made to avoid rejection rather than to follow true self. Center number 5, the heart. The heart, or the ego, which is about willpower and value, self-value. Self-worth tied to external validation. I will prove my value so you don't see me as a disappointment. Which leads to over-promising and under-delivering, which is reinforcing the verdict of disappointment. It oscillates between inflation, I'll show you, and collapse, I'll be never enough. The 6th center is the spleen, which is about safety, intuition, and fear. The fear of rejection and abandonment heightened. If they see me, they will be disappointed and leave. It leads to oversensitivity to others' moods, constantly scanning for signs of disapproval. The intuition becomes clouded by fear, and it can no longer trust inner truth. Center number 7, the solar plexus, the emotional center. Therefore, it's about emotion and connection. Emotional volatility like shame, guilt, and fear of rejection. It avoids intimacy. If I open up, I will disappoint you, or you will disappoint me. It leads to emotional or blackmail patterns. They emerge like guilt tripping or over sacrificing. Center number 8, the sacral energy, the gut. It's about energy, response, life force. All the energy from the sacral is spent on overgiving, pleasing, doing enough. It leads to burnout from trying to earn love through effort. It leads to disconnection from true excitement, conditioned by fear-driven response. Number 9, the last one. It's the root, which is about stress, drive, and adrenaline. It leads to constant stress. The fear for disappointment leads to constant stress. I must act now, do more, fix it, and prove myself. It leads to pressure to resolve the disappointment issue as quickly as possible. And it creates a frantic insistence that destroys connection before it blossoms. The breakthrough path, the reversal flow. When the false verdict, I am a disappointment, is dissolved, then it leads to a heart center that is led by inspiration. Inspiration frees into curiosity, not pressure. With respect to the Ajna, beliefs open. You become flexible, and there are no more rigid contracts. The throat. It leads to an authentic voice, no longer to a survival agenda. The G center. True identity is restored. I am worthy as I am. The heart. Value becomes intrinsic. Nothing to prove, nothing to defend, nothing to explain. The spleen, intuition clears, and safety comes from within. The solar plexus, emotional center. Emotions connect freely without shame contracts. The sacral center, energy flows towards joy and truth, not avoidance. The root, drive actions becomes excitement, not stress. To wrap it up, so the disappointment deception hijacks every center, every energy center in our body, turning inspiration, identity, love, value, safety, connection, energy, and drive into survival contracts. When released, the same centers flow with truth again and lead to your redemption, the redemption of your energy that again flow freely through your body, through the 9 centers we just discussed. Ain't that beautiful? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. See you.